You need to understand something that will hurt now but free you forever. The world doesn't care about your excuses. It doesn't care if you're tired, depressed, overwhelmed, or confused. That's your problem. Life has a simple rule: win or suffer. That's it. There's no sympathy for the man who shows up broke, because in this world, if you don't have money, you don't have a voice. You don't have respect. You don't have control. You're told when to wake up, when to eat, where to go, how to behave, and how much of your soul you're allowed to express. Being broke is the ultimate form of submission. You are not free, you are not safe, you are not living, you're surviving, and barely. You need to get rich now. Or else is not a threat, it's a fact. Or else you stay trapped. Or else you beg. Or else you grow old in silence and regret. Or else you watch other men live the life you were too soft to build. Everyone around you is lying to you. They tell you to be patient. They tell you money isn't everything. They say you should just focus on being happy and enjoy the moment. But the truth is this: broke people don't enjoy the moment. They endure it. There's no peace in not knowing how you'll pay rent. There's no joy in working a job you hate, obeying a boss you despise, for a paycheck that barely keeps your head above water. There is nothing spiritual about suffering unnecessarily. You're not noble because you struggle. You're not virtuous because you've accepted mediocrity. The only reason you're still broke is because you've been programmed to be comfortable in hell, and you know it deep down. There's a war inside you. One part wants to rise, the other wants to rest, and every day you choose rest. You're feeding the side of you that wants you to die poor and invisible. That ends now. Because now you've heard it. You need to get rich now or else. And no, I'm not talking about get rich quick nonsense. I'm talking about making the decision to become powerful, influential, unbreakable, and building it day by day, brick by brick, with zero tolerance for laziness or self-pity. You don't need to be born rich. You don't need connections. You need conviction. You need to be so disgusted with your current life that you refuse to waste another hour. You need to declare war on mediocrity. There is no success without rage. There is no breakthrough without sacrifice. You have to go through pain. You have to bleed for the life you want. But the pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of being 40, broke, irrelevant, and watching younger men dominate the world while you drown in excuses and self-pity. That is the ultimate humiliation. That's what's waiting for you if you don't get rich now. But here's the light. Here's where it gets real. Everything you need is already inside you. Every tool, every spark, every ounce of strength is sitting there, buried beneath distraction and fear. You just haven't tapped into it because the world has conditioned you to play it safe. They taught you to be obedient, not dangerous. They taught you to follow, not lead. But if you can hear this, then that means something inside you is still alive, something fierce, something royal, something hungry. And that hunger is the beginning. That hunger is your edge. That hunger is what separates the wolves from the sheep. It's not too late. I don't care how old you are, where you came from, or how badly you've failed. It is not too late to turn the tables. But the window is closing. Every minute you waste is a minute your future self will beg to get back. Every moment you hesitate is an opportunity slipping through your fingers. If you don't act now, someone else will, and they'll eat what was meant to be yours. You must develop an obsession with building wealth, not because of greed, because of freedom, because of power, because of peace of mind, because your family deserves better, because you deserve better. There is nothing noble about poverty, nothing strong about struggle without purpose. You are not meant to be average. You are not meant to live on autopilot. You are meant to conquer, to lead, to own your fate. But that only comes when you take full aggressive responsibility for your life. Stop looking for handouts. Stop blaming your parents, the government, your past, your genetics. None of that matters. What matters is whether or not you have the balls to rise up and change your reality. You don't get rich by waiting. You get rich by moving. Fast, strategic, relentless. You must outwork, outlearn, outthink, and outlast everyone around you. And yes, it will be hard. It will be lonely. You will be misunderstood. But that's the price of greatness. That's the path of kings. You'll lose sleep, lose friends, lose comfort, but you'll gain your soul. You'll gain clarity. You'll gain command over your time, your energy, your destiny. And once you taste that kind of power, there is no going back. That's why I say it with no hesitation and no apology. You need to get rich now or else. Or else you'll live a life you'll hate. Or else you become a man no one listens to. Or else your dreams die in silence. And when it's all said and done, no one is coming to your funeral with pity. They'll say he had potential and move on. But if you rise, if you commit, if you fight like your life depends on it, you'll build a legacy that outlives you. You'll command respect. You'll walk into rooms and change the atmosphere. You'll know you made it, not because it was easy, but because you refused to die ordinary. I remember standing in a tiny apartment with crack walls, no heat in winter, and a fridge that buzzed louder than my phone ever did. There was nothing poetic about it. It wasn't some noble struggle. It was ugly, cold, silent. I looked around and realized no one was coming to save me. And that's when it clicked. This world only respects results. People don't care about your pain, they care about your power. They listen when you own something, when you command something, when you built something. And I had nothing. I was just another nobody, another ghost wandering through life with potential but no proof. And in that moment, I told myself, you either get rich now or you become nothing. Not in 10 years, not one day, now. Because time doesn't pause for the broke to catch up. You think the universe is going to hand you a golden key because you're a good person? It won't. Life doesn't operate on fairness. It operates on dominance, on output, on speed. You either make money or you become dependent. You either dominate or get used. I watched people around me rot in their own comfort. They had dreams once, big ones, but they let routine kill them. They told themselves they'd figure it out. They said next year, after this job, after this relationship, after this drama. And every time they made an excuse, life slapped them harder until one day they stopped dreaming and just existed. You've seen them too. They walk slow, they talk soft, their eyes are dull. They've given up and they don't even know it. And I swore I'd never be one of them. I swore I'd fight until I either made it or died trying. Because the thought of living and dying as a nobody, poor, powerless, forgettable, was more terrifying than any risk. And that's the truth you've been hiding from. The only thing standing between you and the life you want is the version of you that's scared to take it. Every man is born with fire, but most let it die before they ever throw a punch. They bow, they wait. They negotiate with mediocrity like it's some wise mentor instead of a disease. Let me tell you something. Success doesn't respond to patience. It responds to pressure. It responds to obsession. You have to become so laser focused that even your own fears get out of your way. The world bends to men who are relentless, not reasonable. If you want the life most men will never taste, you must be willing to do what most men will never do. And that begins the second you declare war on weakness, on comfort, on excuses. You want to be rich? Then act like it. Live like it. Move like it. There was a day I had $27, 0 cents to my name, and I still walked into a room like I owned it. Not because I was delusional, but because I knew my bank account wasn't my final story. My mindset was. I studied, I worked, I sold, I failed, I tried again and again and again. And every day I told myself the same thing. You need to get rich now or else. Or else you stay irrelevant. Or else you keep lying to yourself. Or else you sit in that same apartment at 40, looking in the mirror, wondering how you let life pass you by. That fear was fuel. That image haunted me more than poverty ever could. And that fear became discipline. I used it. I didn't run from it. I fed on it. That's what men don't understand. Fear's not the enemy. Comfort is. Comfort makes you slow. Fear wakes you up. It sharpens you. And when used correctly, it becomes your greatest asset. Don't wait for a perfect moment. Don't wait until you're confident. Don't wait until someone gives you permission. That mindset is what's keeping you poor. The man who waits is already defeated. If I had waited for support, for luck, for timing, I'd still be broke. But I moved fast, loud, obsessed. And because of that, the world had no choice but to pay attention. And when money came, it didn't change me. It revealed me. It amplified what was already inside: power, clarity, freedom. That's why I don't just tell men to get rich. I demand it, not because of greed, because of urgency, because of freedom, because you have no other option if you want to live on your terms. And if you think this message doesn't apply to you, if you think you're the exception, you've already lost. The man who rejects this truth is the same man who ends up 50, bitter, broke, and forgotten. Every second you hesitate, someone else is pulling ahead. While you're doubting, he's building. While you're scrolling, he's investing. While you're figuring it out, he's already miles away. And by the time you wake up, you'll be too far behind to even compete. So I'll say it again. Not with judgment, but with urgency. You need to get rich now or else. There's a version of you that dies poor. I want you to hear that and feel it burn in your chest. There's a version of you that never breaks free, never travels, never builds anything that matters, never becomes anyone worth remembering. He exists. And every day you delay, every time you choose comfort, you're becoming him. That version is real. He lives in the shadows of your hesitation. He's the result of your cowardice, your excuses, your fear disguised as logic. He's out there, alone, bitter, full of regrets. And unless you make a decision right now, that's who you become. This is just motivation, this is survival. Because the truth is, life doesn't reward the slow, it crushes them. While you're taking your time figuring it out, another man is pulling ahead. He's not smarter than you, he's not stronger, but he moved. He didn't second guess his ambition. He didn't apologize for wanting more. He looked at the game and said, I refuse to be average. And now he's flying private while you're still arguing with your alarm clock. The longer you stay broke, the more it becomes your identity. Poverty starts as a condition, but it ends as a mindset. And once it infects the way you think, you start to believe you're not meant for wealth. That's how life traps you. Quietly, subtly, with a smile. It makes you think you have time, but you don't. You never did. You wake up at the same time, go to the same job, speak to the same people, eat the same food, and call it life. It's not life. It's slow death. You aren't made to blend in and disappear. You were born to conquer, to dominate, to create something so powerful the world has to notice. But that version of you only shows up after you declare war on the comfort that's killing you. That's what people think fear is weakness. It's not. It's a warning, a signal from your soul telling you that you're living below your potential. That fear you feel when you think about chasing money, building something, risking failure, that's not fear of the world. That's fear of becoming irrelevant. And it should scare the hell out of you. Imagine being 70 years old and realizing you wasted it. That sentence should haunt your dreams, because no amount of peace will soothe the man who knows he never reached his peak. No vacation, no distraction, no external thing can erase the pain of untapped greatness. That's the real hell. Looking back and knowing you had it in you, but you let life seduce you into mediocrity. You don't need more time, you need more intensity. You need a sense of urgency so strong that even your heartbeat feels like a countdown. Every second you're not building, you're burning time you'll never get back. Do you understand that? You're not standing still, you're falling behind. And at some point, the gap between you and the life you want will be too wide to cross. You've been sold a lie. You were told life would wait, that there's always tomorrow. But there isn't. Look around. The world is moving with or without you. Men are becoming millionaires by 18. Kids are building empires from their bedrooms. And you're still thinking about starting. You're still debating whether now is the right time. Let me make it clear for you. Now is the only time you'll ever have. The future doesn't belong to the cautious. It belongs to the bold, to the man who's willing to look at himself in the mirror and say, I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay being average. I'm not okay watching life from the side. It's not just about money. It's about freedom. It's about waking up when you want, speaking how you want, moving how you want. It's about never again begging for days off, never again watching the price tag before you order, never again pretending to be less so others feel more comfortable. That's what wealth gives you. It gives you your power back. And if you don't chase it with everything you got, you'll live the rest of your life dancing for scraps. You'll wear a mask, you'll lie to your children, you'll pretend you're content, but deep down you'll know the truth. You could have been a giant, but you settled for survival. Don't let that be your story. Don't become a cautionary tale. Don't end up as the man people use as an example of what happens when you waste your potential. You've got one shot at this. One. No second run, no restart. So burn this into your mind and never forget it. You need to get rich now or else. The world doesn't care how you feel. It doesn't pause for your emotions. It doesn't wait for you to heal, to figure it out, to get motivated. It moves at the speed of ambition. And unless you're obsessed, unless your hunger devours everything in its path, you'll be trampled by men who refuse to be denied. The sad truth is most people don't fail because they're unlucky. They fail because they tolerated mediocrity for so long, they forgot what it means to fight. They let themselves become comfortable being average, and comfort is the slowest kind of death. If your life doesn't scare you a little, you're not doing it right. You need to wake up every day like you're behind, because you are. Someone out there with less talent than you, less intelligence, less opportunity is outworking you. He's moving faster. He's making decisions while you're still watching motivational videos. He's attacking the game like a lion, and you're still curled up like a house cat waiting for the perfect time. Let me break it to you. There is no perfect time. There's just now raw, dirty, uncertain now, and you either conquer it or it buries you. That's the truth. And if you want to win, you got to become violent with your potential, rip through the weakness, tear the excuses out of your vocabulary, turn maybe into war cries, and someday into scars from the days you bled for progress. Nobody's coming to save you. That sentence should light a fire under your entire existence. Because once you realize the cavalry isn't coming, you stop waiting and start building. The job won't rescue you. The government won't rescue you. Your friends won't hand you wealth on a silver plate. You have to go take it. Not ask for it, take it. And to take it, you need to become the kind of man who is so relentless, so focused, so possessed by the mission that nothing, not heartbreak, not doubt, not failure can derail him. If it's raining, he runs faster. If he's tired, he digs deeper, because he knows the cost of stopping. He knows what's at stake. The only way to win is to outlast the weak version of you. You have to destroy him. You have to kill the man inside who wants to take it easy. That voice telling you to sleep in, to slow down, to enjoy the moment. That voice is poverty in disguise. It's mediocrity trying to seduce you, and you don't negotiate with mediocrity. You eliminate it, you replace it with discipline, with strategy, with obsession. You need to get rich now or else isn't a slogan. It's a survival command. Because if you don't, you get eaten by a world that only respects results. This planet doesn't pay you for effort. It pays you for outcomes. You can cry, complain, justify, and life will still hand your dream to the man who showed up with blood in his teeth and refused to lose. And here's the part no one tells you. When you truly commit, life begins to shift. Doors appear that you never saw before. Resources arrive that once seemed impossible. People take notice when you're moving with purpose. Momentum becomes your weapon. But you'll never experience that until you push past your limits and burn your excuses to ash. The universe responds to action, not intention. Not talking, not wishing, doing. When your daily actions scream that you're coming for everything, the money, the respect, the freedom, that's when things begin to break in your favor. But it has to be real. It has to come from your core, not just something you say when it's easy, but something you live when it's brutal. Because the moment you decide that being broke, forgotten, ignored, powerless is not your fate, that's when your story starts. That's when you step into the arena, not as a spectator, but as a warrior. Not as someone who hopes to win, but as someone who's willing to sacrifice everything to make it non-negotiable. And that's what this is. Non-negotiable. Rich is not a dream. It's the standard. Because when you're rich, you're free. And when you're free, you're dangerous. Because a man with no leash, no limits, no boss, no master, that man can change the world. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need approval. You don't need luck. What you need is to get angry at the life you've tolerated. Furious at the mediocrity you've accepted. Obsessed with the future you know you're capable of. You need to become a machine. Wake up, move, attack, repeat. No breaks, no complaining, no distractions. Just you versus the clock. You versus the version of you that dies forgotten. You versus a world that only remembers winners. You need to get rich now or else. There is no plan B. This is it. This is your moment right now. Not next week, not when you figure it out, not when life gets easier, because life won't. You've been lied to. There is no future where everything magically aligns. There is no fantasy scenario where success lands on your lap. One day is a disease and it's killing you. Every second you delay, someone else is building, someone else is stacking, someone else is becoming the man you could have been. And when you finally look in the mirror and realize how far behind you are, it won't be sadness you feel. It will be rage at yourself for letting comfort steal your crown. The throne was always there. You just sat on the floor and waited for permission. You need to get rich now or else is not just about money. It's about power. It's about control over your life. It's about walking through the world like a force, not a follower. Rich means freedom. Freedom to protect your family, to choose your path, to speak with zero fear. And if you think you can live without that, then you've already surrendered. You've already accepted chains. A man without wealth in this world is a man with a muzzle on his soul. He walks gently, he speaks softly, he bends when he should stand tall. That's not living. That's surviving in slow death. That's existing in someone else's script. And I'm telling you, rewrite the script or get deleted by it. There is no mercy for the passive. The world isn't built for the weak-hearted. It's structured to crush the average. The system will drain your years, bleed your energy, and leave you retired with regrets and pennies. And they'll call it success. They'll clap while you fade into nothingness. But deep down, you'll know. You'll know that you never went all in. You never bet on yourself like your life depended on it. And that's the most painful regret. Not failing, but never daring. Not becoming what you could have been because you listened to fear. Let that fear turn into fuel. Let the anxiety that keeps you up at night become the reason you outwork every man alive. Every ounce of doubt you feel right now, convert it into action. Every insult, every rejection, every moment you were overlooked, remember them, print them into your DNA. Let them forge a version of you so cold, so locked in, that the world has no choice but to take notice. Because the truth is, you already know what you need to do. You've always known. You're just waiting for some external validation, some magical sign to push you. This is that sign. This is that voice cutting through the noise, telling you with fire in its lungs, it's now or never. Success is a war, not a walk, not a wish. It's blood, it's hunger, sleepless nights and ruthless mornings. It's sacrifice, it's obsession, and it's worth every second. Because once you taste real power, not from likes, not from approval, but from dominating your path, you'll never go back to pretending. You'll never accept scraps again. And the people who once doubted you, they'll bow in silence. Because results are louder than talk. Wealth doesn't argue. It proves, it moves, it commands. And you will command if you stop waiting and start attacking. You need to get rich now or else. It means stop playing, stop scrolling, stop explaining why you can't, and start executing like your bloodline depends on it. Because it does. What kind of man do you want your kids to remember? The one who taught them how to hope, or the one who taught them how to win? Because hope without action is a fantasy. You don't raise leaders by being soft. You raise them by showing them what dominance looks like in real time. You need to become that man. Not tomorrow, now. The version of you who's rich, respected, unstoppable, he's not fiction, he's in you. But he's buried under comfort. Dig him out. This is your final warning. There are no redos in life, no save points, no second chances once time is gone and the clock is bleeding. You'll either step into the storm and bend reality to your will, or you'll drown in mediocrity, forgotten, silent, broken spirit, and in wallet. The future isn't waiting. The world isn't patient. Every day you delay, you dig your own grave. You need to get rich now or else. This is not about lifestyle. This is about legacy. This is about waking up in 5 years and not recognizing the loser you used to be. This is about turning your name into something unshakable, something permanent, something feared. So get up, move, build, because you were never meant to blend in. The world is yours, but only if you go take it. You were built. Win. The world is crave. You were born to build, win. The gods of hell, get rich now or be nothing. There is no middle.